Gabby, is this a crisis at Liverpool?
Oh, I wouldn't say crisis. I look at them in the Champions League and they'll be through to the next stage of the Champions League. I look at Isak. Yes, hadn't started well in his Liverpool career, but he's a big miss at the moment. It was strange to see Ekitike start on the bench and play a false nine in Wirtz. That backfired. Salah and Van Dijk, fantastic last season. Had no choice to give them the deals they did. But as that backfired, it hasn't worked. Van Dijk looks off it, very lazy for the first goal. After the game, complaining about the wind. That's a wild statement. Maybe Bournemouth should get a roof over their stadium, stop the wind coming in. Mo Salah looked off it again, Jeff. Doesn't get past anyone, lacking a yard of pace. Even some of his chances, he doesn't look like he's going to score. I think he's got a problem. I wouldn't say a crisis, but he's got a problem to get the best out of these players for the rest of the season.
But what if they were to miss out on a Champions League spot? Then where would that leave the club?
I think it's a big problem, of course, and I think he'd definitely be gone. I mean, I think he'll be gone at the end of the season no matter what, with Alonso waiting there and how poor this season has been. But if you miss out on the Champions League, that is a disaster for a club like Liverpool. It would feel very odd, Liverpool playing in the Europa League next season.
It would be a financial disaster for them, that is for sure.
Yes, and other players have got to step up though, Jeff. I mean, Szoboszlai, another great goal. That's 8 goals this season in all competitions. He's been fantastic, the proper leader of the team for me. But other players, Gakpo, can you do more? Virgil, can you do more? Salah, come on. Ekitike, when you come on, can you come to the party? McAllister, he's one that's not been spoken about a lot. He's done nothing this season. Can you chip in with some goals? We used to see McAllister scoring long ranges. Gravenberch, can you do more as well? Defensively, they're struggling. I know Kanate's father died, so he's missed the last couple of games. Gomez has come in. They're short there, Jeff, as well. Frimpong and Kirkes poor against his old club. Got involved too much in the emotional side of it. Got dragged at half-time for Robertson. But when you look at Liverpool, Jeff, you look at a team that anyone should fear. Really, when you watch them? Can you see an identity from Liverpool when you watch them?
I mean, you talked about them defensively. What they clearly needed was a Mark Gahey in their side. And yet we hear from Gahey at the weekend that in the summer his medical was pretty much done. And yet Liverpool let him slip through their fingers. And now he joins Manchester City. Now, that's not on Arne Slot, is it?
No.
There are other people at the club who have to carry the can for things like that.
I think that was more Crystal Palace at the last second put the plug on a deal, didn't they? Because they didn't get a defender they wanted.
Got to find a way.
Was it Julio who went to West Ham instead?
Yeah. But you are Liverpool. You have to find a way.
And it's cost them. It really has, Jeff, because you look at the Premier League so far, 32 goals Liverpool conceded. More than double of Arsenal. Arsenal 17 goals. So defensively not good enough. And it's not just for this season, Jeff. It's going forward. Kanate wants crazy money. They don't want to give him. Leone looks like a very good defender who got a bad injury. He'll be back in the summer. Van Dijk's going to be a season older as well. So they've got to, in the summer, go out and probably get 2 top centre-backs. Who's their right-backs? Connor Bradley, I really like him, but they need another one because Frimpong's probably better off the right wing. Left back, how dare they ever let Robertson go?
Yeah.
Strange. He's probably their best left back, and they're thinking of letting him go to Spurs. Very odd decision, Jeff.
So if defensively they've got issues, one thing that people don't seem to mention, and I know they've had problems with Isak at the other end, they're not on the top 10 goal-scoring teams in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Even Sunderland have scored more goals than them now. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to Sunderland, because they battle away brilliantly and have played brilliantly, but they're a newly promoted team. 16 home goals. West Ham, we bang on about what an awful season they have. They've scored the same number of goals at home as Liverpool have.
You'd never believe it, would you? If someone told me that, Jeff, in January, that stat, last year, I would have said no chance. Salah will be up there with the top goal scorers. We probably won 15 goals by now. But there's been a drop-off from everyone. They're not getting the goals from midfield. Curtis Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch aren't bringing in the goals. Szoboszlai saving the day. Gakpo is not your sort of player you'd say you want him to start every week. You know, they are missing Luis Diaz, who's been in fantastic form, Jeff. 14 goals, 9 assists in all competitions at Bayern Munich this season. Very strange to let him go and not replace him.
Yeah. Let's hear from the Liverpool boss, Arne Slot, now. He reckons his side's biggest issue is fatigue.
We play a very intense Bournemouth team after 2 days ago playing a away game in Europe. The only team that played Champions League that has 2 days rest. All the others had more. But again, my players showed mentality, came back to 2-2. But I think it's fair to say that in the last 10 minutes, you could see a few of them were tired.
Is that a reasonable excuse, Gabby?
No way. Not having it, Jeff. Not having it one bit. It's all good when it's going rosy and the managers don't complain. You don't see the top managers complain about players being tired. Not at all. Look at the form of the players. Look at the games that they've had, Jeff. In the last 5 games, drawn 4, lost 1. You know, did have Gary McAllister on the weekend with Henry Winter, and he was saying he can't believe the drop-off from Liverpool. And some of those draws, Jeff, Leeds, Fulham, Burnley.
Yeah.
Very, very strange draws. 0-0. Was it home to Leeds? 0-0. Liverpool drawing at home 0-0. You never think you'd hear the day.
Do you think that there will be people within the Liverpool hierarchy who right now are questioning whether Arne Slot's the right man?
100%. They'll be questioning the fantastic season last season, winning the Premier League in his first season. The drop-off has been so big. Is he getting the best out of these players? Or does he need a hand still? Because if you look at that squad of players they've got, they are thin. If you look at Manchester City and Arsenal's options, Jeff, and you look at Liverpool's, you're like, okay, on the left, we've got a young lad, Rio, who can help with Gakpo. On the right, we've got Frimpong, who is he a right back? Is he a right winger? Okay, he's the help for Salah on the right-hand side. Isak, yes, bad injury. He'll be back. Then you've got one in Ekatike. Number 10. Who's their number 10? Wirtz, Curtis Jones. Just look at the options Man City have got. Semenyo, Doku, Shirky, Foden. They're trying to get rid of Oscar Bob. Savinho's got to come back. I think I'm missing some with Marmouche.
But it's very damning, isn't it, when you think of how much Liverpool spent during the course of the summer. And you have to ask the question is how many of those players actually were upgrades on what they already had?
You're spot on. And what we loved about watching Liverpool under the Klopp era, Jeff, we loved winning the ball back. Trent gets it back, and you've got Salah and Mane, fast runs in behind. No messing around. Can you see Gakpo and Salah doing that sort of movement now? You don't. They haven't got that speed in the attack that they used to have.
Nicholas has texted, he said, I've said it before, Virgil van Dijk is getting away with murder. All 3 goals against Bournemouth were on him, but nobody mentions his name. Worst part is he blamed the wind and waved his arms at his teammate. And I think it is fair to say, Nicholas, people do mention Virgil van Dijk. More and more people are focusing on him. He's having a difficult time, there's no doubt about that. But the whole defence is having a difficult time. So it's maybe harsh to point the finger at one man.
Yeah, harsh. I mean, in recent weeks, he has been better than the start of the season, but he's not the Van Dijk of last season. Salah's not the Salah of last season. And I'll tell you something now, Jeff. They might have had no choice to give 2-year deals to players over 30 in the summer. But I'll tell you what, I don't see it happening again, do you? For a long time, Liverpool giving more than a year's contract, because I bet they'd love to have only signed Salah and Van Dijk up for a year, because I'm sure they wouldn't give him a new deal in the summer, the way they performed.
I mentioned the number of sides breathing down their necks. You know, there are already 6. Everton, by the way, they're breathing down their necks as well. And Liverpool's fixtures, they've got Newcastle at home and Manchester City at home, and then Sunderland away, who are now the only unbeaten side at home in the Premier League. You do wonder after those 3 league games just what the league table might look like.
100%. And they're not games that you'd say now, the way Liverpool playing, that you'd guarantee them to win, Jeff. They could easily get 2 points out of those 3 games, the way Liverpool are playing. And the fight for the top 5, I think it'll be 5 for Champions League again, with how good the English teams will do in Europe. Out of the top 6 now, you don't see Liverpool getting into that top 5. I think I'd back Chelsea and Manchester United above Liverpool now. But like you said, that'll be a disaster financially for them.
Yeah.
To not go into the Champions League next season.
I mean, obviously, Arne Slot's position not helped by the availability of Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
If you were to look into the future, Gabby, first game of next season, do you think Arne Slot will still be managing?
No, I don't, Jeff. I see how poor this season has been. You look at him now, 14 points behind Arsenal, not acceptable, and they've backed him, Jeff. People might say they haven't backed him in January. They didn't help get Semenyo over the line. They didn't help get Gay over the line. That says it all to me, Jeff, of not getting those players in January. Maybe they've pulled the plug on giving him money because they've given him, what was it, 400 million in the summer? And look at what that's brought to the club. Ekatike, Isak, did they need Isak? Do you know what I mean? Did they? Ekatike is probably the better player we showed so far this season. So for me, starting next season, I see Xabi Alonso definitely as the manager, and he's not in a rush apparently, Alonso. So he doesn't need the job right now. He might say, yeah, let me get this season out of the way and wait till the summer.
Thanks, Gabby. Problems for Arne Slot and for Liverpool.